Hi, I'm Karen, also known as the Preacher Lady. Today's devotion is In Search of Home. Moving over Christmas has made me ponder Mary and Joseph's journey through this season. They had to leave home in Galilee, while Mary was very pregnant because of a census. Then, because so many people were displaced, there was no room for them in the inn or in the guest room, depending on which translation of the Bible you're reading. Then, after the wise men had visited, they had to flee to Egypt to save the baby from King Herod's wrath. I may have felt displaced this past couple of months, getting our house ready to sell, living out of boxes, looking for a new home, dealing with the mountains and mountains of paperwork and details that needed to be done. But it was nothing compared to what Joseph and Mary had to go through. It also made me wonder about those who are not as fortunate as we are. What about all the others who lost their job during this pandemic? What about those who lost their homes or lost their loved ones? We were fortunate that John Paul got a severance and I was still working. We were fortunate that we had the support system of a family and friends and church. Not everyone is that fortunate. As Christians, we need to remember that we are called to help the least of these. If you encounter someone who has been displaced or is struggling because of this pandemic or just because of hard circumstances, remember that we are called to be the hands and feet of Christ. And if you are able, look for those agencies and helpers that are working to relieve hunger and helping the homeless and helping people find work. They could really use your help during these times. Remember that Mary and Joseph were displaced. How would you want to treat baby Jesus's family? If you are struggling, remember you're not alone. There are good people out there who care. There are people trying to follow Jesus and bring hope and healing. On the long drive from Florida to Texas, following my husband's bug down the highway with a dog in each of our cars, I pulled out my Greatest Showman soundtrack several times. I found a new connection to the bridge in the song From Now On. And we will come back home, we will come back home, home again. And we will come back home, we will come back home, home again. This past couple of months, I have been longing for home. I need to keep reminding myself of what Jesus says in John 14:2. In my Father's house, there are many dwelling places. If that were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? No matter how uncertain our times seem, remember that God has you. And as boxes slowly get unpacked and Star Wars and Star Trek and superhero paraphernalia emerge, I start to feel more at home. But what I really hope will help is finally celebrating Christmas this weekend with John Paul, a little over a month late, when we can stop and remember that God loved us enough to come down and be born in a manger, to go through what we go through, including our struggles, and to suffer and die so that we could have a place in that heavenly mansion. With the move and all, I almost missed the most important thing about Christmas, that God loves us more than we can ever know. Have a blessed week and a belated Merry Christmas. If you liked this devotion, you can either subscribe to my YouTube channel or you can find us at Geeks of Faith on Facebook. Have a blessed week.